Yo, what is going on, guys? It is Taylor the Fiend back again. And so on today's episode, we have an article here that is going to be talking about a woman who decided to divorce a dude when he decided to quit his job. And now, after everything is said and done, after the divorce went through, it's been some time, now she is begging to have him back. So as far as I understand, before we get into it, this was a dude who was highly successful. He figures, you know what, I'm going to take some time off work, I'm going to relax. And she thought, you know what, I'm not going to deal with this. My man's not making money anymore. I am leaving his ass. I am going to try and trade up. And it sounds like she failed. It sounds like what happened was she left this dude thinking, hey, I'm going to go get something better because he's not working, even though I'm comfortable in my life. You know, he provides for me. I'm going to try and find something better. And of course, she completely failed at it. So now she's begging to come back. Hilarious. So let's jump into this story here. Mark, who was a former software engineer, had it all. He had a great salary, he had a comfortable life, and a wife who enjoyed the luxury his job provided. So this was a dude who was successful. His wife was probably chilling at home. She didn't have to do anything. She didn't have to pay rent. Her life was on easy mode, as it is for a lot of these women. Her life was on absolute easy mode. But when he decided to pursue his dreams and leave his well-paying job, his wife abandoned him for a wealthier man. What is with these Sarahs, by the way? Abandoning dudes. You know what I mean? It's always someone named Sarah, I swear. His wife Sarah abandoned him for a wealthier man. Years later, after her husband's fortune dried up, she found herself broke and desperate, reaching out to Mark for help. This is a story of betrayal and ultimate redemption. Okay, so let's look at this. The woman leaves her husband because she thinks she can do better because he's not working anymore, even though it seems like they are totally well financially, right? So she's like, you know what, I'm going to go try and get a wealthier man. So she abandons him, she abandons the marriage, and then the new husband's fortune dried up. She became broke and desperate, and now she's begging to come back to the original guy. You know what I think actually happened here? There's a good chance she tried to make it work with this guy, but this new guy didn't actually end up wanting her, and now she's begging to come back. This is usually what women do. They will leave for a man who they think is a better option, and then of course it doesn't work out because that man doesn't want them, and then they come crawling back at some point or another. Let's jump into this. Mark always felt torn between two paths, one of stability and security, and another filled with uncertainty but fueled by passion. What the hell does that mean? At 35, he had a lucrative job as a software engineer, yet he felt unfulfilled. It was like eating bland food every day. His dream was to create something meaningful, even if it meant financial risk. His wife, Sarah, however, was not on board. She thrived on luxury, the country club, designer handbags, and extravagant vacations. Okay, this dude does not have a wife. He has a liability. I'm so sick of like hearing crap like this, guys, where the women just, you know, use up all of dude's money. They clearly are not actually interested in the dude. They're spending thousands of dollars on handbags and vacations. It's stupid. These men think, oh, this is the love of my life. No, it isn't. It's just a leech. She's just taking your money. She's probably seeing dudes on the side. These same men wonder why these women disrespect them. It's because the women weren't there because they were interested in the men. The women are there because they're interested in the funds. It's insane that these guys think that this is normal. When Mark suggested selling some of her expensive accessories to help fund his new business, she looked at him as if he had suggested living on the streets. Those are investments, Mark, she snapped. This is ridiculous. So I wonder where she got the money for these designer handbags, by the way, because it sounds to me like he bought them for her. Or at the very least, you know, she used his money to buy them, is what it sounds like. And now she's saying they are investments. Okay, so again, this woman is a complete liability. She's not wife material, but alas, dudes will continue to put up with this nonsense. It's amazing. Mark finally took the plunge. One morning, he sent his resignation email out to build his dream company. So he did that so he could build his dream company, Sarah, unsurprisingly, was furious. She tolerated his ambition for a while, hoping he'd give up and return to his well-paying job. But when months passed without financial gains, she turned resentful. So it's funny to me, guys, how this dude clearly paying for everything, giving them the nice life. She's got the luxury. Now, because he's not continuing to buy her luxury items, of course, she has a problem and she's furious at him. Guys, this woman needs to be thrown out of the house and the marriage yesterday. She needs to be gone. It's crazy, right? You'll have dudes who are highly successful, well-paying job, and they just continue to put up with this nonsense. They continue to put up with wives who make their lives a living hell. They continue to deal with the disrespect and the bad manners and things like this. These dudes honestly need to, someone needs to sit down and talk to these guys and be like, yo, you need to sort this out. Get this woman out of your life immediately. But of course, men are welcome to make their own, their decisions. So are women. I just think they're stupid decisions to keep around women like this. That's what I think. So her jabs started subtly. Maybe if you had a paycheck, we wouldn't have to cut back. Soon they turned into full-blown arguments. She missed her high-end lifestyle, not realizing that Mark had enough savings to sustain them for years. Yeah, so this dude's totally fine. Her concern was never about financial survival. It was about social status. Yeah, this is the reason she's buying the bags and you guys are going on the trips and everything in the first place. It's because these things have social status. Why do you guys think, by the way, not most, but a lot of modern day women, they want to travel so obviously they can have experiences with random men and things like this, see what other men are out there. But also, women go to these places because they know it gives them social status. That's why they take their phones and they take so many photos with them and their friends and everything. It's so that they can brag to other women when they return to wherever it is that they're actually from. It's not about the experience itself, guys. It's about being able to take photos and brag about it to your friends, which is of course is really damn stupid. It's not actually about investing into these bags because they're good investments. It's about saying that you have a collection of bags worth X amount of money so you can brag about it to your friends. Social status, that's all that it is. The final straw came on New Year's Eve. Mark, buried in work, suggested a smaller gathering instead of an extravagant party. Sarah, who was unwilling to compromise, went alone. Later that night, Mark decided to surprise her, only to find her cozied up with another dude. She dismissed his concerns, brushing off the situation with a casual, "we just bumped into each other," but the lingering touch on the other man's arm told Mark everything he needed to know. When confronted, she didn't deny it. Instead, she justified her actions. "I have the right to make my own decisions, just like you do." That night, Mark realized their marriage had ended long before he even knew it. Yeah, so she's been hooking up with other dudes the whole time. This one guy, right? So this guy, he came across one situation where she's obviously hooking up with another dude. I can guarantee you this has been happening all throughout their marriage with a bunch of different men. She doesn't respect him. She's not interested in him. She's just there because of the lifestyle that he provides. It's really sad stuff, man. But this is exactly why, by the way, if you're a dude who's successful, this is exactly why you don't really want to advertise yourself in this way to women, If you've got you can't be out there flexing your Lamborghini all over your social media pages and stuff like this. I mean, you can if you want. If you have a Lambo, fantastic. But women are going to recognize the men who have resources and try and get into relationships with them, even though they have actually no interest in these men whatsoever. So it's something to be very cautious of. Their divorce was quick and without much dispute. Sarah was eager to move on with her new wealthy businessman dude. He's more successful and stable, she had told Mark, believing she had upgraded. Mark, heartbroken but determined, immersed himself in his startup. Years passed, his business grew, becoming a modest yet thriving company. He built a life that he was proud of, even finding love again with a woman who supported him not for his wealth, but for who he was. I mean, I doubt it. This woman is probably with him because she saw that this company that he made that started as a passion project, she probably saw that he became successful here. So it's probably just a cycle repeating itself again, as if this guy actually knows, right? If he put up with this for this amount of time, there's a good chance he just made the same mistake again with a different woman. So what happened? He moved on. He continued his hobby or whatever it is that he was doing, and he became successful off of it. He built something new. He wasn't working in software development anymore or whatever it was, software engineering, something like that. He made something new, got with another woman, and years had passed. So let's see how it worked out for the other woman. 6 years later, out of nowhere, the woman texted him, "Hi, how are you?" At first, Mark ignored the messages, but as they continued, they became more desperate. One day, she showed up at his office, demanding to see him. His receptionist, confused by her persistence, informed him of her presence. Sarah, once confident and dismissive, now looked desperate. "Mark, please, can we talk?" It's so funny how the women are always like, "We need to talk, you know, we need to have a serious discussion." No, the man doesn't need to talk with you at all. The wealthy businessman she had left him for turned out to be nothing more than a trust fund baby. You know what? Here's the thing. I think there was also a good chance that this dude was actually successful, but he just didn't want anything serious, so she has to say that he's a trust fund baby. You ever notice that? Like when men don't give up commitment to women, women tend to lie about what type of man he is. You know, they'll say that he's a bad man or he's not a real one or whatever. But the translation at the end of the day is usually just that the man didn't actually want to have a committed relationship with her. So his family eventually cut him off, leaving Sarah penniless. She had quit her job during their marriage, believing she'd never have to work again. Now she was unemployable, broke, and without a place to call home. I mean, she could go out there and get employment, but oftentimes these women don't actually want to get employment. They'd rather have a man look after them because, number one, they don't want to have to work, and number two, they think they're above entry-level jobs anyway. Mark listened, arms crossed, as Sarah pleaded for a second chance, not as his wife, but as an employee. "I know I don't deserve it," she admitted, "but please, Mark, give me a job. You know what I'm capable of." Mark could not believe the audacity. The same woman who had belittled his dreams, abandoned him at his lowest, and traded him for a wealthier man now expected his help. "I don't operate a charity, Sarah," he told her firmly. She broke down, confessing how her life had spiraled. "I never imagined I'd end up here. I regret everything I did to you." Mark had moved on. He said, "We didn't have something genuine. You were in love with the lifestyle, not me." She begged him for another chance, even romantically, but he shook his head. "I have a fiance now," he said, holding up a framed photo of his new love. "But you never post pictures with her. No one mentioned her." "That's because she doesn't need designer clothes and expensive trips to be happy. She loves me for who I am." Yeah, I would be very skeptical if I was this man here, but obviously she's pissed because he has a new soon-to-be wife. The woman didn't even realize that he had a woman, and of course she was hoping she would be able to just bookmark her place in his life and return whenever she wanted. Absolutely ridiculous. Guys, we're going to be leaving today's episode there. Don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments to today's story. Make sure you take care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you all in the next one. Peace.